Hey all, welcome to Share Track. This is Raj here, and friends, I decided to make this video because I have been seeing all the comments that have come for the video on OED GT8 60 MER. So friends, I can understand where you guys are coming from. Of course, you can say, Raj, how can you understand? Because you're not suffering from HIV, so how will you understand how we feel? I get that. But I felt the need to make this video because there have been so many questions that are coming in the comment section, and some of them are really valid and some of them are quite silly. So I thought, why not have a follow-up video, a very brief one, just to set the record straight. So first of all, guys, you know I'm not a doctor or a scientist. I'm just doing this to the best of my abilities. I remember when I was much younger, and I was in, I think I was in high school. I always wanted a good stereo system, but in our house we had a mono turntable with just one speaker. So once I bought another speaker and tried to connect it in parallel so that I could have two speakers and all, but it wasn't good because the turntable itself didn't have the stereo capability, so it couldn't give me the stereo effect. But nevertheless, I kept on trying by adding an extra speaker, cleaning the stylus needle with alcohol and all that. I did everything I could. And every time I thought I would get some good results. And friends, for you, I'm like that turntable, which has got a mono speaker. So you can add another speaker to it. You can ask me half a dozen questions. But unfortunately, despite my best efforts, I may not be able to give you all the answers. And neither can all the scientists. Because unless therapy goes through the clinical trials, especially phase 2 clinical trial, we do not know the efficacy, how effective it is, how much it can conquer this virus. So coming back to the questions that I had, I'm just going to quickly refer to all the questions here, and I'm going to address each and every one of them to the best of my abilities. So please bear with me. So here is the first one by Gurfan Khan. He says, Share Trek, how many years? And we had a hilarious exchange. I asked him to watch the entire video where I said I was asking Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center about when the phase 2 will start. We don't even know if phase 1 is complete. So the question, how many years, is kind of premature. So I told him, we had a bit of a laugh, Gurfan Khan and I, and he also acknowledged that that was not a good question. Then Ravi Prakash asked whether this vaccine is therapeutic. Again, I have guys asking me Hindi question in this English channel, even though I have made the Hindi channel specifically for them so that the languages don't get mixed up. But anyway, he's asking, is this vaccine preventative or therapeutic? Someone else also asked me the same question. So the answer is that it is more therapeutic because vaccine tries to prevent you from getting something. This is when HIV is already in the body. This monoclonal antibody goes in and does the work. So it's more of therapeutic. And another guy asked me, when will phase 2 begin? I'm asking the same question to Fred Hutchinson Center. Even I don't know whether phase 1 has completed. So we need to wait for them to answer those questions. As soon as I get an answer, I'll come back to you. And then we have Rajiv Khanna asking, how will it help for final cure? So some of these questions, I don't know how to answer them. How will it help for final cure? So I guess Rajiv means by final cure as sterilizing cure. I don't know whether this is a sterilizing cure. I'm going to talk about the reasons why I don't know, because there is one more question in the same vein. So we'll handle it all together. And someone called Yagya Buddha is asking, is it vaccine or drug? So I don't know how to answer that question, but I'm going to try to answer all of that together. And then we have Brian asking, is that mean every vaccinated person will be reactive or positive when tested? So again, Brian, basically, if this therapy works, it will just mean that the viral load is low. And I'm still going to answer whether it's a sterilizing cure at the end of all these comments. I'm going to give you my thoughts. It's not definitive, but I'm going to give you my thoughts to make it as clear as possible as to what I think based on everything I have read so far. Matthew is asking, is this serious? God, I hope I am still alive by then. Why would it take that long? So he was responding to EBT 101. Someone said it's going to take 35 years or something like that. And then he was asking whether AdImmune will have their cure in the market by 2025. So Matthew, I would like to sincerely suggest that you just stay positive. You are trying your best. I know, Matthew. Stay positive. We can't change the past. Whatever happened, why you got the virus, we can't change that. It has happened. But you got the rest of your life in front of you. You got all the opportunities in the life that are going to come your way. You have to capitalize on them. If you keep looking at HIV, you're going to miss a lot of opportunities to live life to the fullest. All you have to do is keep on taking ART and going for regular checkups and to lead your life the normal way. When the vaccine comes, it comes. Don't focus on it too much. Because when you desperately expect for something to come, time passes very slowly. It seems like ages. Even a day seems like a year. So intense focus on HIV is not going to help. There are scientists who are doing a lot of work trying to find different ways of tackling the virus. Just to motivate you, let me tell you how many different ways the scientists are trying to handle this. They are trying to block CD4 receptors on the CD4 T cell. They are trying to block the GP160 receptor so that it doesn't hook on to CD4 T cell. They are trying to block the CCR5 by not enabling, by just deleting it out of the CD4 T cell so that even if GP160 hooked onto CD4 T cell, it cannot throw the payload into the CD4 T cell. They're trying so many different ways. So some of the ways are going to succeed. There's going to be more than one therapy sooner rather than later. And guys, the ART is already there. Take your ART. Earlier it used to be daily. Now I think you have injections like cabotegravir and all, which gives you a much longer lead time before the second shot. So things are just improving. So you got to just stay motivated and positive. And you may say, Raj, how do you know what we are going through? Right? So I may not know what we are going through, but I know something about the basic human nature. When you don't have any disease, right? You start worrying about something else. The way the human mind works is in the absence of a higher thing to worry about, smaller things achieve bigger proportions and occupy your mind so that you keep worrying about that. Someone who has got all the money, who's got good health, who has got everything going for himself, might even obsess over the fact that the water doesn't drain fast enough in his sink, or that there's a speck on his car which he cannot clean it up. So that's how the human mind works. So just try to understand how the mind works and start to managing your mind and your expectations in order that you can lead a good and happy life. It's always very good to go to a counselor to get some amount of counseling, because all of us need that. I personally have never taken any antidepressants, but believe me, I have been through business problems much younger in my life when things were looking really, really bleak. I just decided to meditate. So there are meditation techniques which you can use to calm your mind and to center yourself a little bit. I read a lot of books on the Dalai Lama and it helped me. So from a spiritual perspective, spirituality also helps in this situation. You need to calm your mind. So Matthew, I hope that perspective from me gives you some comfort. And then there is another question around sterilizing cure. Okay, so let me come back to the sterilizing cure thing. Okay, so this particular vaccine that I wrote about, the video that you guys are commenting on, eOD-GT8 60 MER. Now, everything that I read about this vaccine talks about the fact that it goes and looks at these macrophages, right? Just to give you a quick recap, when your lymph node gets infected with HIV, lymphocyte cells gets infected with HIV, those lymphocytes commit suicide and kill themselves because they know they have been infected by HIV. And therefore, when you are on ART and the HIV load goes down, your lymph cells are all fresh. They are brand new cells. They don't have HIV anymore, so you are in a good shape. But when it comes to macrophages, macrophages do not kill themselves off if they are infected with HIV. So this particular vaccine tries to educate the macrophage that if it is infected with HIV, it's got to kill itself. Now, there are dendritic cells also which have CD4 receptors. So basically, HIV with GP160 trimer can go and anchor onto that CD4, dump its payload inside, and stay inside a macrophage. Stay inside a dendritic cell. I don't know if it's possible or not possible, but the fact that they have CD4 receptors, which is what I have read in the literature that I went through, then that is one aspect that I don't know. If you take care of all the macrophages, then can they come from dendritic cell? I don't know the answer. I want them to find out the answer. Second is, do macrophages get replenished? I'm trying to read about that. Maybe some of you have the answers. I'm still reading about that. When I have an answer, I'll come back to you with a video. If you kill off a macrophage and it's not going to be replaced, then those functions are lost. What is it going to do? That's what phase 2 clinical trial of this particular therapy will find out for us. And then there are macrophages in the brain. Does this handle them? And if it does, what happens if the macrophages in the brain kill themselves off and their function stop, the macrophage function in the brain stops? How does it impact? So those are all unanswered questions, and I think we'll find out all those answers when phase 2 clinical trial happens. Then the question becomes, when is the phase 2 starting? So I don't even know if phase 1 is complete and whether they have applied to start phase 2. So I've written to the Fred Hutchinson Center, to the coordinate that was given on the press article, asking for some answers. One of the questions was, when will you start phase 2? And the second question was, can you give us some team member with whom we can speak to so that we can understand your findings from the Gavi phase 1? And we can also ask those questions about when phase 2 is going to start. When do they have a prospective ETA for finishing this? So finishing phase 2 and maybe bringing it to everybody. So those are the questions I have. Being a non-scientist and being a regular person who's just done basic biology, who's trying to read up on the internet through reliable sources. So what I do is I try to understand the literature that is given to me. In this particular study, the findings that came, there were 8 findings. I could understand 3 of them, but 5 of them just went whoosh. So I'm still reading the building blocks of knowledge so that I can come up to a level of understanding where I can make sense out of the findings that they have given there. So friends, believe me, I'm trying very hard to bring you the latest news, but I can't just fabricate information and tell you, yeah, it's a sterilizing cure or something like that. I want to be convinced that I understand something properly before I bring it to you. So that's the constraints I have, and I am very sensitive to your eagerness to receive as much information as possible, as soon as possible. So right now, just to summarize, to me, it seems that this is going to be a therapeutic cure. So basically, this is going to be something that is given to people who already have HIV, so that the viral loads can be brought down, and it's an attempt to do a cure. So right now, I'll assume it to be a functional cure unless it proves to be otherwise, based on the results from Gavi phase 1. The other thing is, I don't know when phase 2 is going to start. I don't know when this is going to come into the market. So that's the answer in short. So friends, hang in there. You can't change the past. I would strongly advise that if you feel anxious, you have to seek counseling so that you can center your mind. When my business was having a lot of trouble, much earlier in my life, I had a business which was in the basement, and we had a bit of flooding. For 3 months, the basement was flooded. It was a computer business, and I had 10 people on the staff, and my money was dwindling, and I was not able to get billings because I couldn't cater to my clients because I was underwater. And I couldn't let go of the staff either. So those were very difficult times. And I would go and every day I would find out from the municipality what's the level of the water table, is it going down? So that was the situation. At that time, I found a lot of comfort in meditation. And it was a very serious issue for me. It was acting upon my mind. I was getting desperate. So I did a lot of meditation at that time. And Tibetan meditation is very, very helpful. I read books from Dalai Lama. I tried to do that. And that gave me a lot of comfort. It became a buffer between the real life problem that I was facing and the spiritual way of tackling it. That's what I did. Even now, when I get into a situation where I'm stressed out, I do a bit of meditation. I'm totally organic. I never take antidepressants or anything, but there is no harm in seeking counseling. If you find that you're getting overwhelmed with your situation, always go to your medical practitioner, talk to them. They are trained for these things. There are counselors who are trained to help you navigate your path when you're going through HIV. But one of the things that you have to remember is it's like, to me, the way I visualize a person with HIV, it's like you're walking on a ledge at a very high level, at a very great height. If you look down, you see that there's a deep pit into which you could fall, and you're walking straight. But the fact remains that if you look straight ahead and the ledge is wide enough, you can keep on walking because you have ART, which is giving you a lot of support by protecting all your CD4 T cells. All you have to do is keep on taking ART, that is looking straight ahead. Take ART on a consistent basis, that is put one step in front of the other on the ledge until you reach the other side and you're safe. Don't allow your minds to play a trick on you. That's what I would say. It's easy for me to say. It's difficult, I know. But you have to get a grip on that. You have to go to a counselor to get some support. And stay positive. You're a glass half full person. That's how you have to look at it. Scientists are working very hard, taking multiple approaches simultaneously in order to come up with a cure. ART is already there for a daily basis. You also have cabotegravir, which is giving you a longer duration of relief so that you don't have to take tablets on a daily basis. So things are improving and they're only going to get better. There are lots of promising cure on the way. Excision is there, and then AGT103-T is there, and then this monoclonal antibody is there from Moderna. Plenty of things are in the horizon, and just hang in there, do the right thing. Find a group of people with whom you can find support. Find a support group. Help each other out and stay strong. Even use the comment section here to give each other positive support. That's what I want to see in the comment section. I want to see all positive things in the comment section. ShareTrek has got to be a positive place where everyone comes in and gets motivated and can finds it as a supportive place where you get a lot of energy and positivity. And there's a whole life out there to enjoy. Just go ahead. Don't focus too much on HIV. Just take your ART. Stay positive. Look at all the other aspects of your life and start achieving things. Do a woodworking project. Do some pottery projects. Take a blank piece of canvas and start painting something. I do those things to get motivated. When we across 1,000 subscribers, I raffled out a painting of mine and I gave it to one of our subscribers. And why was I painting? I was painting because it motivates me. When I paint and I see what I have achieved, it gives me a sense of satisfaction. So try all those things. There is so much to do. Or just look at a nice YouTube recipe, cook something fabulous and eat. I do that also. And that's why I don't lose weight so easily. But there are so many good things in life to do, so many things to enjoy. When you focus on something very desperately, time goes very slow. And when you're having a good time, time goes very fast. So the way you have to handle this thing, I think, is that don't focus too much on HIV. Focus on a nice recipe, make it and eat it. Focus on a woodworking project. Focus on art, something that you're going to paint. Focus on friends and going on a picnic or on a hike or something like that. And time will seem to pass very fast. And before you know, there will be a cure ready for you and you'll be off to the races. So that's all I wanted to tell you, my friends. Hang in there. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now. Enjoy your weekend.